Last but not least, 1440, in partnership with that thing that I can't read because I'm in dark mode. Good morning, it's Tuesday, August 4th, and we're covering Tropical Storm Isaiah's big news for a Midwestern manufacturer and primaries in 5 states. Need to know. Isaiah's moves up the coast. Tropical Storm Isaiah's, this annoys me so much. The S at the end, it probably annoys me a little too much. It's just, I want to say Isaiah. What's wrong with Isaiah? Why is it Isaiah's? What? Brought hurricane conditions to parts of the Carolinas overnight, briefly regaining its Category 1 status before weakening as it moved up the mid-Atlantic. The system dropped up to 8 inches of rain in some areas, with a reported storm surge of up to 4 feet as it made landfall near the border of South and North Carolina. Isaiah's, pronounced like this. Okay. Am I saying it wrong? Isaiah. Okay, now it's even more annoying. For one thing, why can't they put the fucking accent? And for another thing, that is such a stupid name. I think I'm gonna keep saying Isaiah's. Ugh. Where was I? Is the 9th named storm and 2nd hurricane of the young Atlantic season. Forecasts predict a busy year, estimating 19 named storms, 7 more than average, and 3 to 6 Category 3 or higher storms, with frequency peaking sharply between the mid-August and mid-October. Between mid-August and mid-October. The storm is expected to bring heavy rains and high wind gusts across the entire Northeast, beginning late today and lasting through tomorrow. On the other side of the country, California's first big wildfire of the year has forced thousands from their homes outside Los Angeles. I just don't understand. Why is it so predictable for California to have wildfires so much? I mean, they am I an idiot? They live on an ocean. They're right there at the ocean. Why can't they keep their land hydrated? I know salt kills things, but you've got all that water at your disposal. Water is purifiable. Why can't they use what they have to keep everything wet? I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, whatever. Lordstown's next chapter. Electric vehicle startup Lordstown Motors will become a publicly traded company, officials announced yesterday. The deal is the next step for a plant site that had become emblematic of the decline of manufacturing in the U.S. Midwest. Originally built in 1966 by General Motors near Youngstown, Ohio, the complex employed more than 13,000 workers at its peak. As U.S.-based production became less competitive, vehicle models were relocated and worker shifts reduced until GM shuttered the plant in March 2019. By November, the newly formed Lordstown Motors used a loan from GM to purchase the facilities, with plans to produce an all-electric truck known as the Endurance. The deal will be executed via a merger with the special purpose acquisition company Diamond Peak Holdings. The SPAC structure, which is rising in popularity, allows companies to become listed without the cumbersome process of a traditional initial public offering. Closing in the 4th quarter, Lordstown Motors is expected to raise around $675 million in funding, implying a valuation of $1.6 billion. Down ballot primaries. 5 states, Arizona, Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, and Washington, hold statewide primary elections today, with a number of key races coming down to the wire. In Kansas, hardline conservative and former Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, Republican, has made a strong run to replace the retiring Senator Pat Roberts, Republican. Some in the GOP fear a Kobach victory could put the Senate seat in play in November, though Republicans haven't lost a Kansas Senate seat since 1932. The race was upended when a Democratic-linked group allegedly spent at least $3 million to boost Kobach last month. That's worrisome. In Michigan, progressive lawmaker and squad member, Representative Rashida Tlaib, Democrat Michigan, faces moderate challenger Brenda Jones, who leads Detroit City Council. In Arizona, moderate will be preferable. In Arizona, incumbent Senator Martha McSally, Republicans, race against businessman Daniel McCarthy, will gauge voter enthusiasm as she prepares for a likely showdown against astronaut Mark Kelly, Democrat. In related news, former President Obama released a first round of endorsements in races across the country. I really wish that didn't hold any weight. I wonder if they're doing mail-in voting. Because it's going to be a shit show. The expert's choice. The Ascent. Nathan Hamilton is a co-founder and personal finance industry analyst for The Ascent, with 11 years of finance experience and over 800 educational and research articles published. Insofar as a person can be an expert on credit cards, Nathan fits the bill. Not too long ago, he published an article about a credit card that was so impressive, he ended up signing up for it himself. For starters, it offers up to 5% cash back on purchases, 0% interest on purchases and balance transfers until late 2021, and, somehow, a $0 annual fee. What's more, all of your cash back is doubled in your first year, which is unmatched in the industry. Nathan estimates this card to be worth about $1,148 in value for the first year, but a colleague managed to secure over $1,200. With cashback earnings like that, it might just be what you need in your wallet. Check it out today and see what all the fuss is about. Please support our sponsors. In the Know, sports, entertainment, and culture, brought to you by In the Wild. Politician John Hume, who won a Nobel Peace Prize for role in bringing an end to the Troubles in Northern Ireland, dies at 83. What were the Troubles? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and partners purchased the XFL for $15 million. The Football League, formerly owned by WWE CEO Vince McMahon, folded 5 weeks into its first season. Through no fault of its own, because of the coronavirus panic. But I'm glad this is happening. It's exciting. 13 members of the St. Louis Cardinals, test positive for COVID-19. 4-game series with Detroit is postponed. Stories of true and gripping tales on survival, tragedy, and triumph from the depths of the wild. Listen to the In the Wild podcast today with Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Science and technology. Report says Garmin, maker of personal GPS devices, paid a multi-million-dollar ransom to a hacker group after a cyber attack last week caused a global outage of services. Specific Zika virus mutation identified that is likely responsible for the explosion of new cases and an increase of microcephaly cases in newborns in 2015 to 16. Researchers developed electric skin capable of transmitting the sense of touch. Why does something like the Zika virus that, it kills people, I'm pretty sure, right? And it also affects newborns? Why does that get buried down here? Nobody really cares about it. But COVID-19 is all the rage. Silly. Researchers develop electric skin capable of transmitting a sense of touch. Neat. So that's good for prosthetics, right? Federal Aviation Administration proposes 4 key safety changes be made to Boeing's 737 MAX design before the aircraft may return to service. 2 deadly crashes in 2018 to 19 killed a combined 346 people, which is why I wonder, I don't understand why Boeing is still holding on to trying to produce this airplane. Why did they not scrap it? I mean, I understand that that's going to lose a lot of money, but if, God forbid, the airplanes keep on crashing, then they're also going to lose a lot of money, probably. Business and markets. Microsoft shares surge 5%, or approximately $80 billion in market value, on potential TikTok U.S. operations acquisition. President Trump states the app may be banned in U.S. if sale is not final by September 15th. I should say it will be banned. U.S. stock markets up, S&P 500 up 0.7%, Dow up 0.9%, NASDAQ up 1.5% on strong manufacturing data and panic relief bill hopes. NASDAQ hits record high. U.S. manufacturing activity grows to highest level since March 2019, second consecutive month of expansion. Awesome. Lord & Taylor and Tailored Brands, owner of Men's Warehouse and Joseph A. Bank, joins growing list of retailers to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Well, that's sad. Politics and world affairs. British tabloid leaks extended version of police body cam footage from the arrest of and killing of George Floyd, despite a prohibition on public release. Why a British tabloid? Those meddling fucks. No, but this is probably a good thing. Officials believe someone used a phone to record footage as it played on a courthouse laptop. Sneaky. They didn't say anything about what actually is shown in the footage, but it is something like he was really, really out of it to begin with. He was not cooperating at all. He kept talking about how he was dying before he was on the ground. Just weird. Weird situation, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to prove murder or even racism. Manhattan prosecutors say their quest for financial documents from President Trump is part of a potential criminal probe into the Trump Organization. 4 top State Department aides subpoenaed by the House over firing of the department's inspector general. Okay. Retired Pope Benedict, said to be significantly ill following a June trip to Germany for his brother's funeral. Vatican officials' dispute report say he is recovering. Okay. In depth. From brain fog to heart damage. Oh, we're still talking about this thing? Science. Scientists are only now beginning to understand the long-term symptoms of the SARS-CoV-2 virus can trigger impatience, intricately linked to the body's immune system response. The challenge will be figuring out how to treat or prevent them. Ugh. Jammed up. The land. It began with photos of moldy jam posted to Instagram and spiraled into one of the food industry's biggest controversies in recent memory. Get an inside look at the fiasco at Squirrel, once one of Los Angeles' trendiest eateries. Apparently they have moldy jam. Yuck. Sound like a good fit? Nathan Hamilton, the co-founder and credit card expert from The Ascent, encourages you to take a look at this incredible card, offering 0% APR for 14 months, up to 5% cash back on purchases, and double cash back in your first year, all for no annual fee. But there's a catch. Nathan isn't sure how long these perks will last. It only took him about 2 minutes to fill out the application, so he encourages you to take action if the perks sound enticing to you. 2 minutes for an estimated $1,148 in first-year value sounds pretty great to us. Check it out now. Please support our sponsors. Etc. The average panic work meeting is 20% shorter. America's 50 most beautiful college campuses. Science says your stubborn kid may become wildly successful. What going back to school may look like in illustrations. Ugh. It's gonna be depressing. It's gonna be fucked up. Mystery Chinese seeds mailed across the U.S. identified as common plants. Still, why? And are they common here, or are they invasive here? A fascinating interactive guide to hundreds of minerals. Zombie cicadas are returning to West Virginia. Ugh. Principal parodies MC Hammer in the name of good hygiene. That sounds awful. Clickbait. That's not how you launder money. History book. Jazz legend Louis Armstrong born, 1901. 1901, wow. I didn't know he was that old. Anne Frank and family are captured after 2 years hiding from Nazis, 1944. Happy birthday, former President Barack Obama. Ugh. 1961. Happy birthday, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, 1981. Rwanda Peace Treaty signed, 1993. No one has ever become poor by giving. Anne Frank. That's a good safe quote. And that's the end of Sundry News. Thank you and good night.